I really need this nail polish stuff here on my desk. That's important to keep, so I'll put it right there.
Look, no, desks should be messy. It's
Yeah.
a shame that there's not an ashtray and cigarettes on there.
This is a treasure that Ellie found in the thrift store once. She was like, oh, Mom, I found treasure. So I've kept it.
What was that, a Parcheesi piece?
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? What is it from?
Let's see, what do I have? I have this. I voted at some point.
Yeah. Cool.
I got my dead grandpa's camera.
Oh. You don't have to say you're dead grandpa.
Well,
He's still your grandpa.
gives it more significance.
Yeah, he's dead.
I've got this thing that my therapist wrote on a napkin once for me.
What? Why did you... What?
She was just out and thought things. She says there are 3 trends to my personality: modesty, independence, and compliance.
Compliance.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the first two, I understand. I don't understand how compliance is you.
I think it was what we're talking about earlier.
Hmm.
Is that I'm worried. There's the putting weight into other people opinions. Like, I'm not going to say something because that person could react in a way I don't want to deal with. Like, it gives them a lot of power.
Oh. Interesting. It's nice too that she was thinking about you while she was out and had to write it down. I have to find a napkin and write this down. Ask the bartender for a pen.
Well, we've talked about how we would be friends probably if we didn't have this dynamic.
Yeah. I picked this up because I was going to show you too. This is my grandma's...
Dead grandmas?
Dead grandma tape measure. She died when I was 5. I've had it forever and I love it.
Yeah, see, it makes it all the more meaningful to me. It's like, that's my grandmother's. I saw her 2 days ago. Yeah, whatever.
Right. Who gives a shit?
This is that thing that belonged to that person who's now dead, but they had a whole life. They had a whole life where they had a tape measure, or they had a whole life where they used this camera. I mean, maybe they didn't use it constantly, but they used it.
Mm-hmm. They've touched it.
And now I have
That's like that thing we talked about with coins, with pennies.
Oh, yeah, not getting rid of the old pennies?
That was a thing I was like, whoa. Okay, there's 2 things I think that have hit me like, whoa, if I let this go, this will be a problem. One of them was the pennies thing, where if it was a certain year, like I had to save it. What was I going to do with it? I don't know, but it's from 1962. It's amazing. How many things has it seen? How many people have touched it? And then the other thing is gambling.
How so?
I love gambling. I love it.
Oh, you really do like it.
Oh, man. I have made it a rule now that I only get the scratch-offs if we're traveling. And so, like, every stop, I'm like, scratch-offs. Oh, but there was a time where I was, like, really considering getting cash back at the grocery store, $20, and then putting it right back in that machine and getting a $20 one. Or being at the casino. Oh, yeah. I love it.
You know there's a casino here out in
Really?
Queens near JFK? I've never been to it.
Let's go!
You want to go to the casino?
Hell yeah.
All right.
I love it. There's one here that's by a mall. So dumb. But and then there's that big one that's in DC. But oh yeah, it's my like secret little wish to just go there during the day. Like nothing to do, like little pop like, I could go secretly go to that casino.
Now here's a conflict of interest that could come up. You could play the penny slots, which you really don't even put pennies into anymore. But let's say you did. You're playing penny slots and you had a penny from 1962.
Yeah.
And you either had to get rid of that penny or play the slot machine.
Dilemma. You know what? I think I would put luck onto the ones that I had saved. Like I saved these specifically to help me win. Come on, 1962.
All right, that's fair. So I have some pennies here. 2014.
Nah.
Out of here.
You may as well just put it in the trash.
That was 2016.
Yeah.
1989.
Well, it's not bad.
All right. Keep pile.
Okay.
93. It's almost 30 years ago.
Yeah, I wish you could step back from that ledge,
Nah.
my friend. That's the first thing I thought when I heard 1983. I don't even know if that was in...
I think that was later. Which seemed like a giant gap later. It was probably 1996, I bet that song came out. But 93 to 96 for us was like, whoa. What a huge time difference.
Huge difference.
18, get out of here. I can already tell this is a new one by the ugly back where they put the shield on it instead of...
Oh, that shield.
Yeah, what happened to... I like the old pennies because of the Lincoln Memorial. There's actually a little Lincoln sitting
I
in
know,
it.
you can see him in there. What's he doing?
Let's just go through a few more. I want to see the
Okay.
oldest one I can
I
find.
wish I had change.
81.
I have a whole bowl of change. Ellie calls me rich because I have a bowl of change. She's like, because you're rich.
So there's an 81. I know. I have all these.
81's not bad. It's not as good as the 60s ones.
77. That's a good one.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's been so many places.
Yes. They put it, somebody was at a disco and called a cab. They put 10 cents in a
76.
That's a good one too.
All right, that's enough. I have a wheat
Okay.
penny somewhere. I don't even know if they're worth anything. Here's a 47.
Whoa.
This is the wheat
Greg.
penny. Here you go. 1 cent. 47. You want this?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put it aside for you.
Okay.
47. It's like
Wow.
World War II just ended.
7.
It just ended. I'll have to go through this whole glass I've got
I know.
here.
I have a whole bowl I should go through.
Who knows what's
That's
at the
just our
bottom?
topic is our loose change. And we just go through it and talk about what we see.
Look, there's the little Lincoln. There he is.
Why did they change that?
Who knows? There's no reason. They should really just get rid of the penny at this point.
Mm,
Yes, nobody wants it. When I get change back
I
and there are
know.
pennies, I throw the pennies on the ground. I don't even bring them home anymore. I'll look at them. Same as
Yeah.
you do. If it's an old one, I keep it. For the most part, I just throw them on the ground. I always
Oh,
hated that Scrooge McDuck dove into the coins. That you wouldn't go in. You'd hit
oh
your
no,
head.
you would break. Neck is broken.
Yeah.
Life is like a.
It's the end.
Yeah, the end.
You can go swimming in coins. I mean, you
But
jump
don't
off.
you love that idea? That and then he spits them out of his mouth like it's water.
I think even that vault filled with paper money, if it was compressed enough, you could hurt.
Oh, sure. And over time, right? It would just start to settle into sort of like a money cement.
Yeah. Go diving into it.
You'd have to have like an air system in there to keep it fluffy enough that you could land in it.
Yeah, it just lifts from the bottom. That vault was very, very big, and you wouldn't be able to float in the paper money. You'd sink to the bottom. You'd go straight to the bottom if it weren't too dense. Let's say we've gotten rid of that problem with our air system. Then you'd just go straight to the bottom,
Yeah.
and you'd be stuck there.
Well, it would be like the balls, right?
You wouldn't be able to get back up. No, think about a ball pit that's that deep.
Yeah.
You would sink to the bottom, and you wouldn't be able to swim back up. There's no buoyancy in it. So you just be down there.
He does float on the top, doesn't he?
There's-
When he spits that out, or does he just come up to the surface?
I don't. He's doing a stroke at some point.
Yeah.
I recall. But with the paper money, yeah, there'd just be skeletons of all the people who jumped in down there.
They just starve to death.
If you didn't suffocate first.
No, you couldn't suffocate. There'd be the air system.
All right, you're right. So the air system's there. So then a slower death. It's a test that the rich person in town poses to the peasants. You can come swim in my money vault for $1 a piece, and if you can survive, you have the money. But then they all die.
I'll let you swim in my money vault, and you can take anything. If you can get out, then you can take as much money as you can carry. No one gets out.
Exactly.
What is this movie called that we're making?
It's called capitalism.
That's too much of a commentary.
That's the name of
Money
the movie.
Pit.
Okay, fine. So you're going in a B film kind of way,
Yeah.
and I was just
What
going
is
to
yours? A respected film
Yeah, it's gonna be an
I'm
art house
sorry.
film.
with the ivy, or like those things around the.
Like you get for Sundance, yeah.
Yeah.
The,
What is that?
The
Those little
awards.
leaves?
They're just icons for
Okay.
I've won an award. They're those things people make up all the time.
Oh, they are.
That just became the standard. I don't know where that originally where that design came from. Maybe it was one film festival. Obviously, it's the standard across the board now. That this film has won awards, but I worked for that Gary Knoll guy who did awful documentaries about ozone therapy, which was going to a doctor and having ozone, the gas, injected into your bloodstream because it has antiseptic properties. It's air. You're putting a gas into your bloodstream, which can kill you if
Yeah.
you don't do it properly, and you shouldn't do it at all. And as we're filming this, the doctor says, don't get my face in this or anything that can identify me because I'm actually just a podiatrist. It's like, what the hell am I working on here?
Whoa.
Anyway, this guy used to give himself awards, and he'd put those things on his DVDs and just create some film festival that he won, and nobody looks into it.
Yeah, it's like saying you've graduated high school. No one's checking.
He had a trophy case full of awards he won that he just bought. You didn't go to any. Yes.
Wow, that seems like you're trying to fool yourself.
Well, he was
To put it in your own house.
He was a narcissist.
Yeah.
The full-blown...
Like, not the pop version of it, but like the real version
No,
of it.
the real thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was insane. That guy was absolutely insane. He was impossible to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing was ever right. He was completely vain. You'd do a shot with him and come back over and look at it. I got to watch that. Like, that piece of hair is no good. You do like some... Look, I was like, you're paying me $40 an hour, whatever. We'll continue to do this all day. But
yeah,
you're an idiot. You moron. No one cares.
Who is this again?
This guy named Gary Knoll, who was a big nutritionist.
Yeah, he sounds familiar.
But he turned into kind of a quack, where he was an AIDS denialist. He didn't think HIV caused AIDS, that it was a creation by pharmaceutical companies. And he said you could cure cancer with coffee enemas.
Oh.
And vaccinations cause autism was one of his things. I refused to work on that documentary. I would just work on the ones that potentially killed people, like ozone therapy. But I was like, those people are choosing to be here. I used a fake name in the credits, Jake Mesmeyer. I didn't want my name in the credits.
I do have one more coin thing that I like.
Okay.
In Robin Hood, the Disney version, when he is playing with the coins and he like lifts them up because he's all pissed, right? Because he's taxing everybody and he has all this money now, but he's still mad. He's like holding the coins and he's lifting them up and dropping them back down into the pile. I always really liked that. And I would do that as a kid because of that movie.
That's cool. People do that with, just chips at a gambling table too.
Sure. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah,
but I wasn't doing that because I found it on my own. I was only doing it from that movie.
Listen to this. That's the 2 quarters. That's awful. Listen to this. That's some weight. That's a real coin. That's £2
That's
from
the nickel.
England. It's a British pound. It's much better. Yeah. Much better sounding than this weak, chintzy shit.
Yeah, sure.
Get out of here with our coins. They stink.
Welcome to One Topic, where we stick to one topic. My name is Autumn Fisher.
My name is Greg Russ. Autumn, your turn. Go for it. Topic.
This week, I really want to get lots of views, lots of downloads, lots of eyeballs, unique visitors.
Just resorting to the old bag of tricks, so that makes me think it's something sexual.
That's right. So I want to talk about fetishes or kinks.
Okay, I was going to ask if it was both, because a fetish,
tell me,
in its purest sense, is a thing that a person can't get off sexually without.
Right.
A kink can just be, we're playing around, adding some spice, having some fun.
Literal spice, maybe.
So it could be. Cinnamon is a big thing. Is
it really?
You ever put cinnamon on your genitals?
No, I haven't.
And
I mean, every once in a while, some gets there when I'm working with cinnamon, and then I go to the bathroom.
And I don't know
doing
if it's
a lot
a thing.
Of cinnamon work.
I don't know for sure if it's a thing, but I have to assume that somewhere it is.
I bet you it is, because if you touch a mucous membrane with cinnamon on your fingers, I bet you it burns.
Yeah, I've only ever done horseradish.
Oh, you have?
And wasabi.
Sexually?
Yeah, I go for as spicy as possible in the mucous membranes.
As a sexual thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. You stick like a
cayenne pepper.
An open cayenne pepper up your butt.
Habanero pepper. Ghost pepper.
Spicy butt.
Put that ghost pepper right up my butt.
That's for your lover. Yes. The person who goes in that butt loves spicy. So you give them what they want. You're very kind. That's very nice of you.
Yeah, I had to grow into that. I haven't always been this kind.
Mm-hmm.
But as I go along and I'm more open-minded as I grow older, sure.
Yeah.
Put all the hot stuff up me.
Sure. It started out with just like one of those pickled jalapeno pieces, And those are sometimes not very spicy.
Yeah, I started with banana peppers.
Oh, yeah. There's a difference, right? Some banana peppers are just no problemo. And then there are other ones that are pretty spicy. So it's like you don't really ever know.
I'm sure there's a difference between the two, so you could know if you knew what you were getting.
I mean, if you bought it in a jar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is not the pepper show.
Why not? I've been pushing for that one, too, along with socks for quite a while now.
Oh, yeah.
When
are we doing socks?
Let's talk peps. We'll do socks whenever. That's my topic. This week was your topic, which is fetish.
Yes.
And are you just doing it because you're trying to get a lot of downloads for the show? Because the breast show did, as I predicted, The
I know.
breast show turned out to be the most downloaded episode that we've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
No surprise. I don't think people got what they expected out of that
Probably
episode,
not.
which I am proud of, because we had a full discussion on breasts that I thought was engaging and interesting in ways that weren't just... I think people just wanted to hear about your boobs. That's probably what they wanted to hear about.
Well, not next week because it's your topic, but the next week after that is just my pussy.
Bye-bye, Schweppes sponsorship. We were maybe almost there. They said, let's listen to this next episode and see how that goes, and then we'll make a decision.
We lost them when we started putting the peppers up the butt.
No. I'm sure the top cat at the Schweppes company likes putting stuff up his or her butt.
Oh, man, so close.
Those people always do.
Their thresholds at Schweppes are razor thin. You never know. You know what the...
All right, now it's
what
lost.
The CEO is...
Now it's finished.
All right, I want to talk about my first fetish. Not my personal first fetish.
Well, let's start with there. Do you have any fetishes?
Okay. I don't have any fetishes, but I think some things could fall in the category of kink.
Examples. I need them.
Again. I don't know, not really.
Give the pervs listening to the show what they want.
I mean, we all like a little, okay. So something that I enjoy, I don't love being like the pusher, the dominant one. I prefer to be like, I feel like a lady. I feel like the most like a lady, like a sexy, like, oh, it's happening to me. Not that I'm not there for it.
So you like being helpless.
Not even helpless, because I don't want to be like tied up or any of that.
But just in general, it's a submissive role.
Yes.
That also tends to go along with, gender roles. It's like, you're the lady, just lie there.
No, not lie. But I'm a bottom, I guess, is what my category. If I have to give myself a category, and that doesn't mean that it has to be that way necessarily, but I guess that's just my preference.
Okay.
Is that a kink?
Sure. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
I can't say if it's a kink. It seems like a probably pretty common thing. Like it happens in the most boring of bedrooms.
Right.
Someone probably is leaning towards that.
Right. And I'm not trying to be like I said, held down, like tied up, like totally helpless. I don't care about that.
The most boring of bedrooms or rockin' of coves, which is what I sleep in, and it's a cove. It's not really a bedroom. I mean, there's an archway that goes into it.
Yeah.
There's a door to close.
The ceiling's too high to be a cave.
What if it had stalactites hanging from the top? Would it be a cave? And dripping noises.
Wet. There's a bat.
It's my fetish. I can only get off if I'm fucking in a cave.
That's right. There has to be a blind newt in there, or it ain't happening for me.
Yeah. I need the bat shit all over the place.
Guano.
Give it to me. Spread it on my chest. Ugh.
All right, so that's not kink. That's a
preference.
Fetish. No, that's a...
Oh no.
No.
Yes. It's just a preference, Autumn.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, I meant you have a preference. Yes, that would be a fetish.
Okay.
I don't know if it's one of the defined. They have a list of quite a few. Defined.
Wait. What about yours? Do you have any kinks or fetishes?
No. No.
You don't want to shove a foot in your mouth?
No. I mean,
you don't want to rip someone's clothes off while they're smoking?
No. There's never been anything like that. And when I've dated people who have a desire that falls along these lines, I would always shut it down. Which, looking back, it was not something that it was just because I was scared, really. I was like, this person likes this thing, and I have no idea how to do this thing. And I'm always on edge anyway. Like, I ride the train, and I think about everyone's bodies being filled with shit on the train. And if I go too far into thinking about something, it's gone. I'm lost forever. You just said the one time walking up the subway stairs as you're staring at my butt, that you're thinking about me taking dumps.
I wasn't thinking about taking. I thought about poop coming out of your butthole for some reason.
Yeah, another time. Every single time I walk up subway stairs now, I can't not think about that.
I'm
So
sorry.
that's the way my brain works. So there's a fear in me. The first one is not being able to deliver the way the person wants me to deliver on it, which is fine because I don't know any reasonable person who had something they wanted would expect you to know how to do it unless you've done it before. So they probably work with you, and that would be okay. And then two, it's, this fear that I'm going to drift off into some point of no return where I can never come back. And I would just think, like, if it's butt play, there's so much talk about butts already, but
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, I would be, I guess.
Is that what someone has asked you for before?
There have been, times, things like that.
Yeah. Is it in the middle of everything that they're asking for it, or is it discussed beforehand? Like, hey, I'm into butt stuff. How about you?
Not in the middle, but things have come up in the past. And then I had to dismiss it because I was unable to sit,
Right.
unable to sit with my discomfort of it. And I probably made the person feel embarrassed about it. Not on purpose. But
Do you remember how you handled it?
Why would you want to do? No, that's so disgusting. It's probably the way it played out.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? I mean,
Cruel.
it wasn't that mean, but it probably had the same effect.
Oh.
It wasn't a complete berating of the person, but
Yeah.
so to answer your question, no, there's nothing specific that's come my way that I need to have that. That's out of the ordinary, I don't think.
Right. I've been presented with some options. Butt stuff comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a finger in the other person,
Yeah.
their little butt.
Yeah. Have you followed through?
No, no. You know, I I didn't say. Listen, it wasn't. No, I wanted to like do it for the person because I wanted them to enjoy something, but I couldn't. I couldn't. Also, someone asked me to put blue eyeshadow on and red lipstick. I didn't do that either.
Why not? That one seems easy enough to do.
No, it just like I don't like role playing because it feels so silly.
I'm exactly there with you on that.
Yeah.
Like spanking, for example. I could
Oh.
never do that. I would just laugh. I think this is ridiculous.
Oh, you mean like over your knee, naughty girl?
I don't even know if that, even if it's just, in the middle of having sex.
Oh.
Like, hey, no, spank me. No, I'll just end up laughing. This is goofy. I can't get into it that way.
Sure.
I'm sorry that I can't do that. I'm not judging you for it, but I just,
Yeah.
you want me to laugh? Like it's hard enough if I am into the person that I enjoy having sex, whatever that entails.
Mm-hmm.
But if you take me out of that mindset, the whole thing falls apart.
Right.
And if there was something that came about using a substance, what was I reading? There was some weird sexual fetish, sploshing, where you just splosh your partner in something, whipped cream or baby oil or body paint.
Yep.
And if it was at the other person's house, I'd say sure, because you get to clean up that mess. You're not doing that in my bed. That's not happening here.
Well, I don't think stuff like that happens in a bed.
Well, wherever it happens,
Yeah.
it's not going to be my personal space where there's a
No.
mess for me to clean up after the fact.
I feel like a little spanking is not the same category as splashing.
No, they're different things. I
Yeah.
wasn't trying to draw a comparison. I was just
Okay.
talking about how I could be pulled out of the moment. And the moment I think about having to clean this mess up in my room,
Oh, right. You're like,
I was like, oh,
maybe you're into it just like you're trying to be into it, or you're attempting, and then all you're thinking about is like, oh, what is that?
yeah, isn't that? Don't you think that's enough of the syrup?
How am I gonna get this peanut butter out of the rug?
Yeah, isn't that enough of the syrup? Can we stop that now? No, I don't think we don't need more.
This ranch is starting to curdle
That's
because
the
of
only,
our body heat.
That's the only way I like it. I won't use the milk until it's already curdled.
Ooh, chunky milk.
Mm.
There was also once where, okay, so uh, a little bit of like wanting to tie me up. And I did not really want to do that. And then things were like intense and was happening. And then he kind of was kind of tying me up. And I was like trying to go for it. I was just like, I don't know. It's embarrassing now. But
No, look, you got to put it out there. You want to talk about this stuff.
yeah, that
Um,
I guess that was his kind of kink, was that he was into that sort of helpless. And I didn't want to be helpless.
and in saying that to you, like, you have to talk about it. I mean, if you really didn't want to, you wouldn't
No,
have
I
to.
know.
I'm just curious as to why you're getting embarrassed about it.
Because I tried to play along and I even was like, no.
Yeah, because you're just a goofy person. So those kind of
Yeah.
things, you can't get lost in
No.
that realm. So it
Because it's
just
not real to me. You know what I mean? Like, that's getting sexy is about being like your most real. There's nothing else happening outside. It's like your outside of your brain shuts off and it's only like the, reptilian brain. You're not present. And that's how and I think you have to be more present to be like, I'm a schoolgirl, and I can't get into it if I'm pretending, if I'm using the outside of my brain to be creative.
you feel that way. I feel like to be more present in the moment would lead to just, I'm really into this with this person. And I know that you let go a bit, but I would have to let go in order to get into some kind of role playing or someone else's
Oh.
fantasy. Because being present would mean I'm very aware of the situation and how it's just this kind of ridiculous thing that's happening.
Yeah.
And this is just neurosis. This is what this is. This is the way this plays out. If someone wants to tie you up, if you don't want to be tied up, that should be the end of it. If that's something a person likes, then just say this is done. This won't work.
Yeah.
And go find someone else who's into it. I don't see the need to try to force that onto someone.
No.
So while you're in the middle of it, you gave it a go.
Yeah.
It's the most you could do.
That's you try.
What was the mechanism of tying?
I don't even know. Something on the floor.
Barbed wire.
Yeah.
I've got the razor wire.
Knife.
The more you try to struggle and escape, the more it's going to cut you. It's like, oh, this is just a fetish of yours, huh? Yeah. Just a
Yeah.
game. Just a little game that I'm playing.
Yep. I have a vault full of money.
And then, after you try to escape, I have to give you a tetanus shot. And
That's part of it. It's all part of it.
That's what puts me over the edge, because then
Yep.
I'm your savior.
Taking you to the minute clinic is part of my fetish.
Well, I just thought they had.
Buying you antiseptic is
I-
part of it.
I just figured they had all that on hand in a drawer.
Oh,
Like-
no.
Or like that room.
There's a whole thing.
There's a room, like the room in that movie, that the 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh,
There's the doctor's room. It's got the shot. It's got the Neosporin.
There's
got-
a nurse on hand.
It's got the Band-Aids. Yeah.
He pays for that nurse.
And she's just always on duty.
Yep.
It's like, you just live here. I'm so rich that you will never leave.
Nope. You never know when you're going to meet someone who needs a tetanus shot after you've tied them up with barbed wire.
So what are your feelings on that? Someone who would be into, I mean, obviously, that's extreme what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But no, because I saw that there was a survey, or no, it wasn't a survey, it was a study, so it was a little more official than a survey,
Okay.
done in the Journal of Sexual Medicine that said people who partake in BDSM might actually be emotionally healthier than people who just have boring sex constantly, because they could better communicate. There's less neurosis. They're more open to one another, better able to communicate their needs, and sensitive to the needs of their partner.
Sure. That makes sense. But
Except for when you use it to avoid all the other
Yes.
normal stuff.
yes. So the breaking away of true intimacy by using, in order to use the BDSM, that's the problem. I mean, yeah, you're right. They they are more willing to talk about what they like, what they don't like, what they want, how, that's great. But also, in order to have your orgasm with this person, they need to be hitting you with something like,
Well, if it's imposing some kind of negative feeling or actual physical pain on the person, unless the person wants the physical pain.
that's what they want. That's what BDSM is.
Yeah, okay then. If
Well,
both
not B, right? That's just bondage.
if both people want it.
I'm not putting a judgment on it. I'm saying, though, it is a breaking away from intimacy to to sort of, I think, to have a fetish like that. Right?
I'm just trying to think if there's a different kind of
Are they
intimacy.
having straight square sex together, or are they always having to be like, and now I'm choking you, or now you're in my control because I have a collar on you and I'm yanking the leash.
Well, I think if it's just that kind of sex, then maybe you're skirting intimacy, but maybe a different kind of intimacy emerges that I can't comprehend at this
Okay.
point.
The intimacy of like a sitting across a table and
There's
telling
certain
each other what you want.
and there's certainly an intimacy of trust that comes into
Yeah.
play.
Okay. Okay, then I'm now I get it.
But I do think that it could clearly be an avoidance of actual intimacy,
Yeah.
like the way I like to have sex, which is no blinking, staring constantly into the other person's eyes.
And if they break away,
If they
it's
blink,
over.
I can't finish.
Yeah, you're like, "Oh no, you're a human who has to blink."
Stop blinking. Dry those eyes out. I want to see them start to shrivel, and once they start to shrivel, then this will be over.
Then it's over.
And then I take you to my secret room where I've got a big stash of clear eyes.
Oh, it's the best. After you've shriveled your eyeballs at staring at sexy Greg, and then you get the clear eye, you get that saline solution to moisturize, plump up your eyeball. It's no greater feeling.
I have a secret room dedicated to that.
In your tiny apartment. Your apartment's actually huge, but there's a secret wall that's your sex room.
Yeah.
The sex square footage.
Yeah, it opens
Extra
up
square footage.
to it opens up to an additional 2,500 square feet.
Yep.
And nobody
you bought
knows
the
about.
apartment next door.
Welcome.
All right, I want to talk about age play.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about actual fetishes, meaning an inanimate object worshipped for its believed magical powers. I thought we were going to transition into that.
Oh, well, we can.
No, I have nothing to say about that.
Are you talking about like loving the Eiffel Tower or something? Or a
No,
bridge?
it's more
Or
mystical
that
than
lady
that.
who loves her bow and arrow.
That can be a form of it. Yes,
Okay.
there is a form of, but that still falls into the sexual realm
Okay.
in a way when a person's in love with an inanimate object.
Mm-hmm.
This was more mystical, like charms and amulets and stuff like that. There are two kind of fetishes, sexual and then this kind. I mean, there is the object fetishism,
Right.
which falls in between the two, but that seems to be classified mostly with sexual. I just wanted to bring that up.
You're saying that there's two kinds of fetish, one sexual and one not?
Yeah, the other one is a worship of an.
About fetish.
What's that?
I mean, sexual then.
Huh?
Only sexual.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Because anybody can fetishize something if we're taking the sexual out of it. Like I fetishize my TV. I love it. I love watching it.
I didn't really want to transition, for the record, into the
Okay.
inanimate object that serves magical powers for certain people. I just thought that was a weird thing.
It is weird.
That's all.
I feel like
nothing to
the
say
type
about
of
it.
person who's into that has one of those pewter wizards that's holding.
Could be if you believe that it has magical powers.
Yeah.
And is the source of these, then that's what entails that other fetishism. But you wanted to talk about age play.
Yes. What is age play?
You're asking me.
I want you to tell me what it is. I know what it is. I'm asking you.
This is a test. If
No,
I
I
had
just want to see what you think it is.
if I had to guess with age play, people are pretending to be ages that they're not.
Sure.
And I hope that it doesn't. I know baby and diaper and stuff like that is a big thing amongst people and some people. And maybe that falls into it, but it could also be like, oh, you just turned of age, and I'm the 60-year-old rich man who swims in his money.
Who's also a duck.
Yeah. So come on over.
Come get this corkscrew.
I've been waiting. I've had my eye on you, and now that's your birthday, I'm going to show up, and you've never met me, and you're not going to question why
You
I
know,
know it's your birthday and why I know your age.
I think that that's role play. I don't think that that's age. Oh, where is the line?
Well, tell me, what's the official age play definition?
It can be as simple as people call it, like calling each other daddy, or mommy or baby.
No. No.
It can be the extreme, like you're talking about, where it's like mother baby scenarios, diapering, all of that. But I think that the majority of age play is just like, oh, daddy, stuff like that.
I'm sitting back from my microphone for this because I said if there's one thing that would immediately just ruin it, that would be it. Everything we've talked about so far, I think maybe I could get a few minutes into this snap of a finger. Someone calls me daddy. Done. What? No. No.
No.
And I don't understand that dynamic. Because the dynamic is you're the dad. You're the father figure. Maybe an authority figure, but I feel like that falls into a different realm. There's a different dynamic, and
but think about the porn that's out there. A lot of people like that family stuff.
Yeah, that has moved.
Naughty daughter, caught. Blech.
I don't know why. That is the top search right now on a lot of these porn sites, and it moved from step brother and step sister and step parent into just straight up incest. They don't even just, yep, that's just my dad, or that's just my brother.
Yeah.
And people are eating this up.
Because it's taboo, right? It's not, people don't want to have sex with their daughters. People don't want to have sex with their dads. It's this sort of, you're doing something wrong, right?
Yeah, but there's plenty of other taboo that you could fall into. I don't know. I mean, obviously, if it's the top search, I do doubt that most people are thinking about having sex with their blood relatives. But I still don't know what the interest in it is. Mm-hmm. What is luring people to that?
Well, if we really want to get into it, it might have something to do with the rate of inappropriate sexual contact between siblings at a young age because of maybe some molestation. I'm not saying that that's every scenario, every situation for everyone, but who might be into that. But I mean, things that happen in your life when you're young like that are too intense for what you're ready for, oftentimes gets replayed over and over and over and over in your life because you're trying to master something where you felt out of control. So it would make sense that maybe this is interesting for people if that's where they're coming from.
Yeah, but with the number of people who are into it, I just can't believe that there's that many who had this experience. I mean, fetishes in general seem to come from, a lot of the times, whatever your first sexual experience was. So if there was a woman in stockings, then that becomes a thing. Or you can train a person like Pavlov's dog. You can put pictures of naked women up with boots or something that's not even sexual, like trees. And over time, there's a connection that's formed. But, I think what they have found mostly is if something happens on the first time you have sex, that sets you up for fetishizing things. And it can go from there. You form new ones.
Sure.
But this one I don't understand. Still, I don't get it.
All right, let's move on to another one.
Well, it's like, why is people, when it's Hispanic people and like mommy and pop, it's like, no, stop.
Ay, mommy.
It's not, okay, move on.
All right.
Because I'm at a loss of words. I can't articulate it any more than that. And I'm sure there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
It's just something that makes me want to sit back from my microphone.
Yeah. It makes you uncomfortable.
Yes.
Maybe that's healthy.
Now, if someone would say, well, what are you scared of?
Oh, yeah.
Which is not the truth.
No. Well, all right. Maybe I am scared of someone having sex with their dad, and that's fine. All right. I want to talk about cuckolding.
Okay.
Cuckolding is, people know what this is already. Um, when the husband is turned on by not only the wife or the partner or whatever having sex with someone else, but also in a way that humiliates the man.
And what's your question for me? Would I be into that?
Why are you into that now?
Um,
What? Yeah. What is what?
Humiliation is a thing on its own.
Right.
I really think all the stuff that happened with Louis C.K., he didn't go about it the right way. But the masturbating in front of women without them touching, it's got to be a form of humiliation. And maybe not. Some people can see it as a power thing. Maybe that. But for me, it's like
He seems like the kind of person that's not into power. He seems like the kind of person who's into humiliation.
yeah, and that's why I believe that. But I don't know him for sure. But that's the way I perceived it.
Yeah.
Again, just because you asked and the person said yes, maybe they thought you were joking because it's such an odd request, or maybe they thought, okay, I have to do this because this person can help me. Whatever that was, we don't need to talk about that here.
Yeah.
But that's a thing where you're very vulnerable. Other people are watching you. Sex is vulnerable in its own right, but when it's all said and done, you both are in it together. And like, oh, well, we both did this thing, and
Right.
now if I'm feeling vulnerable, at least the other person probably is too. But this is, I just did that. You sat there.
And this is something I normally do on my own and is embarrassing if I'm caught. So maybe he is trying to master that by saying, like, I'll do it in front of you. But in a way, he's fetishized the humiliation.
Yes. So we transfer this over to cuckolding.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, what would be stirred if you're watching your spouse have sex with someone else? Feelings of jealousy, does that come about? Is that something to spark your interest again?
No, because that I think is a power thing where you get to be jealous. And I don't think the person who is being cuckolded wants to feel that. I think they want to feel like, oh, I don't give her enough. I'm not good enough. Look at her being this way with him. He's giving her what I can't, and I like that.
That makes sense.
But it doesn't make sense sexually to me. That doesn't, I'm not like, yeah, that sounds interesting. I love being humiliated.
I'm looking up people's reasons for it right now. This person says they want to fantasize that she and the man she is with are lovers. I want her to moan as loud as she does for me, kiss him deep and desperately, and know what she looks like from a distance while she's making love to me. So it sounds like this person is just using a stand-in for himself so he can get some distance and watch.
That sounds like voyeurism and not really cuckolding.
Without any real good reason, the thought of her going down on another man. All right, he's getting really graphic with this, and I know it's a podcast, but I'd rather not.
This is what this guy's into, is writing this down.
Yeah. Okay. If you're in a jealous, unhealthy relationship, you look at your significant other like an object. They are yours. So if anyone were to ever touch them, they'd be laying their hands on your stuff, and you'd naturally be angry, possessive, and self-centered. When you meet the one, you realize it's not about them being yours, but rather about them being true and faithful to you. That isn't about owning them. It's about owning life's journey together. I think that's all healthy stuff, except for the fact that you're okay with... I mean, if it's an arrangement...
Yeah.
Sure. If I don't know.
This is an opinion. It's not judgment.
It's hard for me to... Because if I built all that stuff with a person...
Right.
There isn't possession. But there would be zero desire for me to watch them have sex with someone else. Even if it were just purely sex. I guess there's a correlation to sex in my mind at that point. It's like, well, we're doing this and we have this great relationship and
right.
We love each other so much and this deeply that if someone else is in that position, that means they have all the same things with this person. Which it doesn't. But in my mind,
right.
That's the way it would read, and then I would not be able to sit with that. And it clearly could just be straight up sex. It's like, I just want to watch you have sex with someone else, but I don't know what I would get out of that.
Right.
Unless I were playing into the idea that I love our dynamic so much, and I were trying to prove something about it, that I'm so enlightened with this that I can
Right.
allow you to do that. And
But then that would just be, you can go do it. I don't have to be present for it.
yeah. But I think the most extreme version of it would be it's like I'm also going to watch it.
Right. I
And
need to be a part of it
and
in
I'm
some
not going to
way.
get jealous. So you're right. Like I said earlier, questioning that is out of the picture. I think in this, that is that it's just look at this great relationship that we have, and I am just able to allow you to enjoy life to the fullest, and to prove to you that that's the truth. I'm also going to watch it, and I'm never going to make you feel bad for it.
Right. And I also want you to tell me that his is so much bigger than mine, because I need to be humiliated also.
Yeah. Then where the humiliation comes into play, I don't know.
Right.
It feels
It
like
can
it's
be, it can also be done through dirty talk, it says, at least on this list that I'm reading.
in what way? The humiliation?
Well, the cuckolding, because it could be like, yeah, you can, I guess you can sort of role play, right? Not in the sense of like dressing up and being anyway, but just like in dirty talk, like, yeah, you're a whore. Yeah, I'm a whore. Bleh.
Yeah. So there's not really another person.
Right.
It's just the two people. But then
Yeah, you fucked Dave at work. Yeah, I totally did on the desk.
yeah, tell me about him and the.
He was so much better than you. You're a real piece of shit. Oh, I love it.
But then is that not a power thing? Like meaning a powerful person wants to be knocked down.
Oh,
They're tired of always being the best. I'm so wonderful. Tell me what a piece of shit I am.
right. Like people who are in high powered business positions going to dominatrix or something.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, mistress.
Which you could incorporate into your normal life and not just be a powerful asshole. I mean, if you had power, you could be careful with it.
Obviously, this person doesn't understand or doesn't know a lot of the person we're making up, right? This business, high powered business person probably doesn't understand a lot of subtlety or gray area, right? They're at work. They're this type of person. This is the only way to get things done.
They got
And
where they
then-
were by shitting on people and stabbing people in the back and climbing over their corpses. Yes.
That's right. And then I need my mistress to literally shit on me.
Yeah, just operating in extremes at that point.
Right.
Let's go for it. Do you think there are people who like being shit on, but they want the person to eat specific foods beforehand? So it can't just be whatever they have requests. I want
No,
you
but
to
then
eat.
you're a power bottom at that point.
I want you to eat a medium rare prime rib and mashed potatoes.
Then you're not a real bottom.
Or I just want you to eat
You're not submissive enough. If you're
street
telling
tacos
if you're bossing around the dom,
with cilantro and radishes.
you are no longer a sub.
I want you to eat nothing but Gouda cheese for 3 days.
Oh,
And that's all that will come out.
that's it. Only Gouda.
Well, for 3 days, so
This
there's
poor dominatrix has like an intestinal disorder now because you're her client for 10 years and she's been eating way too much Gouda.
should be constipated too, right? Cheese backs
She
you
would,
up.
but maybe he doesn't like the cleanup after. He likes it to be pebbles, little rabbit pebbles.
I like the strain. I want to see you pop some blood vessels in the process.
Oh. All right, there's someone on here that I feel like are kind of in the same vein, like electro stimulation. I
Yeah.
feel like that's part of BDSM. It's just like another thing where it's like, really, we're bringing more into this.
I think you can just get very specific. So some person
Yeah.
may not be into the full range of BDSM.
Choking, tying down, all of that I think is all part of like bondage BDSM stuff.
I mean, if you look at the full list, they have compiled a list. Paraphilias is the term for them, the psychological term. And
Okay.
it's things, that you've heard before. People with amputations, people are into that.
Uh-huh.
Mannequins and statues.
What?
Being on stage or on camera. I can see that one. I don't.
Exhibitionism.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, it falls into that, but this is very specific. Exhibitionism could be we're going to do it in front of the window, so other people can see. This is specific to. It is a breakdown. You're right. It falls into. I think it's a hierarchy of things. A tree. If you look, it branches out. I would never want to watch myself.
I'm curious, but I know it doesn't look great.
But even if it didn't look bad, your own self-perception is usually skewed a bit.
Ugh,
So,
yeah, and then you would only have in your head like, oh my God, I'm probably making that face right now.
well, I told you I saw the people across the way once having sex.
We saw that.
Well, what you did, that was that one time. That was a
Uh-huh.
window that was up a bit, so we couldn't see down into the apartment, but we did see it. We saw like top part of it.
Yeah, we couldn't tell exactly what was going on.
This was the apartment that's below, so I could see right into the window, right to the bed, saw the whole thing, and just
Awesome.
saw. No, it's not awesome.
Yes, it is.
Because I realized the guy is just a chimp pumping away. His butt's in the air. It's going back and forth. Hips are gyrating. Then they switched, and she got on top. But even then, I didn't
Yeah.
stare at the whole thing. I just would glance for like 30 seconds, then I'd go away, then I'd come back and glance. I mean, I may as well just stared. Who knows?
Yeah, who cares?
Turned off all the lights in the apartment because you can't see into a dark apartment if there's no light
Sure.
from the inside, and just stood there. But in my mind, there would have been a silhouette of a figure. They'd look up and just see the silhouette there.
Well, they were doing it in front of the window.
Well, I mean, it was in
They
the
know people are above them.
apartments aren't big here, so they were actually on the far wall. That you
Yeah,
just
but
see.
still, I feel like they must have known that, hey, this window is open and we just don't care.
Yeah, and all the lights were on. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't even just here's a lamp because we want some light. It was just every overhead lights were on, and there was no mood. Just this harsh blasting of tungsten light from this old 1980s light fixture.
Were they the kinds of bodies that you want to shed light on?
They were normal bodies. They were probably
Yeah.
good-looking people.
All right.
But it's still, it's like I'm watching this and I see what it really looks like.
Yeah.
And I guess you can get that in porn sometimes, but it's also stylized.
Yeah.
With different angles, and it's
I
still.
hate the close-ups
Yeah,
in porn.
I'm with you.
So gross.
I don't know why people like that. You want to see the whole thing.
No, yes, I want to. I would like to see it through like blurry vision. I just want to see movement sometimes.
I'm surprised they don't have. I actually probably do, so I'm not going to say I'm surprised. Macro lens porn. Macro lenses give you really fine detail of things close up, and
Yeah.
I'm surprised they're not.
I'm into electron microscope porn.
Like, hey, oh, it's a thing somewhere. Although the electron microscope shows you the particles, right? So
Yeah, you're like, ooh, that particle is on.
these are
his
these person's particles. There, that's the penis particle. Look at it.
Look at it. That's penis skin
Look at
electro.
it shaking.
Okay, I want to ask you a question.
Okay,
When you think of Japan,
Mm-hmm.
what kind of fetishes do they have?
eels.
Yes.
That's
Well,
the fir-
okay, eels. Okay, in what capacity are the eels?
That's another thing up the butt.
Do they go up their, well, not their butts.
I'd seen it before. They put it up the butt and kind of pooped them out. Shot them out.
Did he live?
They were still alive.
Okay, well, God bless them.
It was a she, and there was a man there.
Okay. What else?
So the eels always stick out to me.
But that was real. That wasn't, because when I think of, oh, no, you go ahead. I'm going to let you finish, then I'll tell you what I think.
I mean, that's what pops into mind. Other than that, it's the subdued nature of their culture has not allowed them to express themselves in any healthy way. So a lot of the men, are shying away from relationships with women, and a lot of the women are rejecting traditional relationships with men because even when women in Japan would start careers, the moment they got pregnant, it was done. Like, you weren't going to go back to work. It was finished. Your role changed. And a lot of them are saying, fuck this. And so they're not getting involved, and the men are marrying pillows.
Okay.
So I also think about that.
The pillows. Okay.
What?
I think immediately of not eels, but those many like octopus arms with penises sometimes, or maybe not even, but like they're attacking some woman and they rip her clothes off, and then she's like penetrated lots of ways with weird tentacle monster.
Where are you seeing this?
I've seen it.
I mean, it's obviously not real. Is this
No,
anime?
no, it's a Japan. Yeah, it's anime.
Yeah.
Hentai.
Yeah. So those anime ones, yes.
Those are crazy, and they usually have to do with something like older man is tricking a girl into trusting him or just being alone with him, and then he like is actually a demon monster or something, and he like grows into something gross and then holds her down and then like totally rapes her. I don't understand why. Well, I guess I kind of do understand. I feel like a lot of their oh, okay, the other thing I was thinking of for Japan was those ropes. There's a rope culture, sexy culture there. It's called shibari, the beauty of tight binding. Or maybe that's
Is it so?
kinbaku.
This is sexual. I know that there's like foot binding and stuff that happens. Or
Oh, that's the past though, right? That's like
yeah, but that does it come out of something like that?
I
Is
don't
this
know.
is this binding something that is done over the long period of a time and it transforms a person's body, or is it just temporary
No.
binding?
It's
Okay.
just temporary. It's ropes. Have you seen those like Japanese
Oh
knots
yeah,
tied up ladies in different ways?
yes.
It's that. So I think of okay, so sure. Eels, tentacle penis monster, and then tying them up. It all means that these women are totally helpless. It seems like Japanese women don't have the ability to be sexual, and this is only through porn. I don't know how real life people or Japanese people are doing it, but in any porn that you watch with even real life people, the women always sound like they're like sad. They're like they're like crying. I don't know.
I think that is. I mean, that is the way women were viewed. They're very passive in
Yeah,
that culture for
very
quite a
passive. Yeah.
long time, and that's starting to change. It's also reflected in the birth rate going backwards. Like they're losing population right now, which I find to be very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas most countries are still gaining population. But I think it's because of that has existed. Women were viewed in that way, and now it's finally they've had enough of that, and it's starting to shift. But it's manifesting in these very weird ways, and all of the like the tentacles and the eels are all stand-ins for penises because
Yeah.
you watch the porn there and the penis is still pixelated and there's a shame around. It's
Is it
very
the pubic hair that's mostly the pixelated part?
that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't know why that law was passed, but it
Yeah, the
was.
craziest things are happening. I mean, pornography on regular TV.
Yeah, and then you go to Tokyo, there's all these love hotels which are made solely for people having sex that the government is promoting at this point because they want people to start having sex again.
Mm-hmm.
Like go do this here. And it's the society that is, it's not an oppressive government per se. It's the society that has oppressed themselves. And I find it to be very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And there are things, when I went over that, I love because people are respectful. It's very clean, despite the fact there's no trash cans anywhere. You wait for the train, you're waiting for the subway, and whoever was there first gets on first. You're not pushing to get on. You line up. But living in that constantly, like if that's your whole life, I can see it's like, well, yeah, that's a lot to take on.
Right. Never always feeling nervous to make a mistake or insulting or.
Well, yeah, when you go into a place, a store, a restaurant, and you can't speak Japanese, they seem apologetic that they can't speak English if they can't.
Right.
I was like, no, stop this. This is your country. I should be speaking your language, and I tried the best I could, but, I should be holding the embarrassment.
Right.
I hate, like, that part I hate about it.
Well, the other downside is also that Chikan thing. Have you know about Chikan?
Fill me in.
It's it means I don't know what it means, but it's something you're supposed to say or something that someone is called when they molest you on the train.
You're supposed to yell that out.
Either that or they're called a Chikan. I'm not sure, but because of the I don't want to be the nail that sticks out that gets hammered down culture, right? They will get groped or touched or whatever on a train and they won't say anything because they don't want to cause trouble.
Yeah, and
So there's like posters apparently or like ads in the trains that say something about like Chikan.
yeah, if it's not one of those cars that are designated solely for women, if you get
Oh,
into,
really?
they do have those.
Yeah.
Because it's become a problem. It's a problem anywhere because men are fucking gross. I mean, here in New York, when I first moved here, the announcement on the train was still somewhat polite. A crowded train is not an excuse for an improper touch. It's like, wait, that's really downplaying what's happening if someone's being groped. And I forget what the new wording is, but it's been updated. It's a little more direct and representative of really how inappropriate and like just you should be shunned and shamed. It is. Before it's like, that's an inappropriate touch. It's like, yeah, that person just grabbed your ass.
Right. Or
And
worse.
and it does. I stand on the train if it's a crowded train with my hands close to my side, if and like cheating towards the front of me.
Yeah.
I just stand as thin as possible, and if someone gets touched and they look around, they're gonna know immediately. Wasn't me. There was a time though I was holding on to the pole in a crowded train, and this woman got smashed into me, and her boobs were smashing up against my hand.
Oh.
And then I was like, well,
Now you can't move them.
if I move it, then it seems like I'm trying to get a feel. I'm already
Yeah.
feeling them, but so I just had to wait that one out.
Yeah, could you say to her like, "I'm sorry, excuse me"?
No, I mean, I
No.
guess I could have if it was. I mean, I can't say it was bothering me. The only reason it was bothering me was I was just worried that she would think that I was taking
Yeah.
advantage.
You couldn't even enjoy it.
I didn't
You were
mind.
too worried.
I didn't mind per se,
Yeah.
personally. But, getting back to fetishes, it was long believed that it was mostly men who had fetishes. I mean, that's been disproven a bit. I think that's just because women were told not to express themselves sexually in any way. It's like, no, don't. But I'd be interested. There's so many. Like, I even just pulling up a list here.
Oh yeah. I don't even want to talk about like the ones that are into enemas, stuff like that.
Yeah, there's so many stuffed toy animals, inflicting pain, which we've already kind of talked about. Body piercings and tattoos, muscles and displays of strength. I'm curious though how many of the really weird ones that are pushing some kind of dominance or even submission or pain or whatever against women come from men. Like feet, for example, is a harmless one. It's like, okay. And then a lot of men are into feet. Feet apparently.
So you're saying ones where the men are subjected?
Just in general, the ones that are a little more extreme and require the other person to relent a lot in some way. This is just me liking to blame men for things because I think that they're dirty, filthy animals.
So are you saying you want more like female worship fetishes?
That could be a nice one.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, full-blown worship. How about just be nice? That's a
I know. So I was looking this stuff up and I realized that female worship was really just like making sure she's taken care of sexually and not
that shouldn't even be a fetish. I don't know.
right. That's what I was thinking.
It should just be a thing.
Yeah. That just seems like it should be normal.
I mean, I mentioned feet. Apparently over 50%, just over 50% of fetish is feet.
Yeah, feet are so big and I mean, there's different categories, right? Because maybe you like a stinky foot, like go run around in these shoes without socks and then come back to me and I want to put your sweaty foot in my mouth. Or there's ones like I like them all bound up in stockings. Eat my stockings. Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to feet. Someone's like, let's do this foot thing. I was like, all right, I'll try that.
Yeah, it happened to me once, and it wasn't like a foot fetish person or anything. They just like were checking out my feet and doing things to them. I was like, this is nice, but it wasn't like sexual. It just felt really good.
See, but the ratio that we have these stories, it's like, are these all different people that you?
No. Well,
I'm just
two different people.
All right, two. Okay. I was just thinking, I was like, you've come across it a lot more than I have, and kind of trying to illustrate my point. It's the filthy men, those nasty dudes.
Yeah.
Which whatever. I don't want to shame anyone. Again, if both people are into it, no one's actually being hurt.
No, yeah.
Then it's fine. Though if you ask and the person says no, then sorry, it's done for you.
If someone asks you, okay, this is harmless. If someone asks you to pee on them,
is it their
in
place?
a contained place in a shower, I don't mean on a bed, would you be okay with them being into that? Or would that take you out of it?
I mean, I guess I would try.
Like, let's get in the shower.
I just wouldn't. I wouldn't want it to become a thing if it was the only thing. Like, if this has to happen or nothing, we're not going to have good sex. It's like, okay, well, I don't know if like, you want to do this here and there? Sure, I guess. I'll try it. I wouldn't poop on anyone.
Oh, no.
Never.
Would you let someone put something in your butt?
I don't want it.
Yeah.
So no, even if they wanted to.
Yeah.
No, because I don't want it.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, your butt. I don't understand. I've heard the butt described like this. It's real tight, but then it's open, really open on the inside. So it's like putting your finger inside a balloon. So I don't even understand what the good thing about that is.
Yeah, and the tightness.
Sometimes it's about power too. Sometimes it's about like this person is I'm getting to do this to this person.
Yeah, the tightness. I've never had problems with tightness elsewhere, so
Yeah.
just it's okay.
Yeah.
It's fine. No.
No. Something I did notice was that the I looked up some of the top fetishes for different countries, and it seemed like Japan's were a lot about restraining women, and the United States and Britain were about, I'm going to say hurting, and I don't mean hurting, but like pain, whipping, spanking. Britain's really into spanking, which seems appropriate. Doesn't that just feel right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It shows up
You've
more.
been quite a naughty girl.
Yeah. That skin turns a little more red than other people's.
Is that why?
I think people like that reaction.
Oh yeah, I have seen that in a porn. Like
My
where
pasty
their
skin.
butts look so sad.
Yeah.
That takes me out of him. Like that looks like it hurt.
Does hurt.
I don't want to. No, that looks too painful.
Look at those capillaries bursting.
Yes, the capillary. Now, the reason why a little bit of a spank, or like a little bit, yeah, a spank on the butt, I think is supposed to, biologically or whatever, feel good, is because it sends signals to your, like, it's your, I don't know, something about your clitoris. I don't know. Something about that is supposed, like the pain receptor, the pain and pleasure thing are very closely related. And so it's translating into that. But when it turns into actual pain, I don't understand why that is something you want. Like, really hurt me.
Without actually having done it,
Yeah.
or experiencing that, I don't think we can understand it.
I guess not.
So it's hard to talk about. Meaning because I've tried to understand it, but I can only go so far with it.
Why do you think that in the United States and Britain we're hurting women more? Because a lot of the other places were like Greece is just having the most sex. I think.
It was Germany.
Yeah, Germany was, I think, dirty talk. They did the most dirty talk.
Okay.
Australia said has the largest number of yes answers to the question, do you have a pair of handcuffs on the bedside table? And Canadians enjoy dominant and submissive relationships with all, which also makes sense for them, right? Because there's a lot of politeness going on. So we need to have like these hard and fast lines of who I am, who you are.
Yeah, I wonder there's other Western cultures that I think subscribe to this, but in the United States, there's a lot of pent-up frustration. Men are taught to not be expressive and that their feelings are bad and to put them away. And, when women are those things, it's like, shut up. Of course you're being a woman. I don't know if it's born out of there somewhere. Inflicting physical pain. I mean, what leads you to want to hurt someone else? The things that I think about are when someone's just not taking other people into account. That's where it comes from me. I don't see that would apply to wanting to transfer that to sex in the bedroom. Like if I'm on the train and someone's blasting their music that nobody wants to hear, I want to break their knee. If they're blocking the door when they shouldn't be standing there for the subway when it opens and not even turning their body, it's like, yep, I'm here. I don't give a shit. I want to bust their knee. If someone says something nasty to someone else that's unwarranted, I want to break their knee. But yeah, so it's, for me, the only time I think about violence is when I see someone acting like they're the only person in existence. So I can't really speak to why someone would want to inflict violence onto their sexual partner.
Nah, I think violence is the wrong word when it comes to that. Violence is an emotional sort of response. I think these people are.
Well, I think what I was trying to say is emotions are suppressed, and maybe in anger is one of the easiest emotions, one of the most basic emotions. And it's, all this pent up feeling from over the years maybe just manifests as anger.
Sure.
And I'm not saying that people are going in like completely angrily beating people up.
No.
But.
Oh, but there are those ones where like they're all right, okay. I'm thinking of a couple of things. One where people. No, this is not fetish. That's just dumb porn. Porn is different than just fetish, right? I feel like what you might be looking at is different than what you're actually doing. Because people are not actually, getting their, I guess that'd be a role play thing, like getting their girlfriend in a van and then having sex with them, promising them money, and then abandoning them. So you know what I mean? Like that's not really happening. So I'm sort of conflating the two. But I guess if you have a sexual fetish that you use porn to fulfill, is it then still a fetish?
I mean, it's representative.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's reactionary or proactive. Like, do they pick up on what they hear is popular amongst people and then they make porn, or do they set the standard sometimes? Like, we invented this thing and now people are starting to like it.
Right. Or it's they're using pornography too much and getting desensitized and getting more and more intense, different, weird things.
I mean, that could certainly be a thing. I could see that. It's like, I watch this, now I need more and more and more, kind of like a drug addiction where the same amount's just not working the same for you anymore.
Well, think about when you were a kid and you saw a little bit of nudity. It was like, and now, you see a boob, no big deal.
Yeah. Oh, well, there's that again.
Yeah. I watched Game of Thrones. I'm not like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah. There's another one.
Yep. I guess rape is now fine because lots of rape on Game of Thrones. No biggie.
I mean, that's a fetish in itself.
Yeah.
Which is not one I could get into. Mm-mm. I was about to say, to help wrap this up, I would be open more so at this point in my life than I have been in the past for trying things if someone introduced it. There really isn't anything I secretly want myself, so I don't see that. I don't know. There isn't. I'm just trying to think. Now I want there to be something.
Yeah.
Like, why isn't there? Maybe, but I would be open. But there's certain things like that I could never get to.
Maybe you're into female worship and that's your thing.
Yeah, like
that just feels normal.
Passion HD is a nice site.
It is a nice site.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what that is.
That's nice to watch.
Yeah. There was a time when I was pregnant, I didn't want to see any like actual sex. I was only looking at lesbians making out. That's all I cared about. Everything else was too intense.
It was too intense.
Yeah, it was like, ew, everything was gross. I was like, oh, that's gross.
Yeah.
I just need to see like nice, pretty people kissing. That's all I needed.
I wonder what the shift in your chemicals was that caused that.
Mm-hmm. It was too gross. Everything was gross. Well, a lot of things were gross too when I was pregnant. I noticed that food commercials would show food really close up, and that made me so sick. Like pizza commercials, they're like focused so close into those pizza slices, the cheese pulling apart, or like, any fast food or something, they would just show things really close. It was so gross.
Yeah, but because those are really gross if you think about them. That close up of the pizza and the fake cheese, the food stylists go in there, and none of it's actually food. And
yeah, it's motor oil on top of your pancakes and stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're just seeing things for what they actually are.
Yeah.
At that point, it's like, this is disgusting.
It is.
Food commercials in general are pretty disgusting. Any close
I would get really grossed out too, thinking about people in restaurants all chewing and eating. Things were weird with me and food when I was pregnant. Gross.
Well, again, that's a gross thing.
Yeah. Everybody just
gross.
And then how people, when you see them and they're slowed down and they eat something and they they stick their tongue out really far when I feel like I don't do that, but I must. When you take a bite of something, I don't think I do that. You just like arc.
I'm trying to bite this pen to see the way this plays out, but now I'm thinking about it too much, so I can't say for
I know.
sure.
That's what I'm saying. I'm very sure I don't do that, but I must. If everyone is doing that, it must just be a way you do it.
We'll take
You
a
just don't
video
know
of
it.
you, high
Okay.
frame rate. So
You need to secretly film me.
Yeah, there's the fetish. Secretly filming Autumn eat.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very specific.
Yeah.
It's you eating.
Oh, before we go, I need to mention that I was part of a fetish that I didn't mean to be when I did my shower videos on YouTube.
Yeah, you're shogging.
Yes, my shogging.
Or is it schlogging?
Thank you for calling it the right
I got it
thing.
right, damn it. I wanted to get it the wrong
It
thing.
felt really good. Like you really knew me.
Well, I liked calling it the wrong thing for so long.
I know. And the fact that you did it made me feel like, oh, we have a new connection. Nope, just kidding. He messed up.
We have enough connections.
What's that?
I said we have enough connections. We
That's
don't need
true.
that
Do
one.
we need more? Fuck. So I was, to me, I'm just someone showering from, the clavicle up. And I'm washing my hair. I'm talking while I'm showering. No big deal. And I'm getting tons of views. I have like over 1 million something views on some of these. And I know it can't be because I'm so talented. I never thought for 1 minute. I was like, people are just interested. I was like, what is happening? And it turns out that my videos were being shared on different message boards for people who are into shampooing. So along with my video were just like instructional videos from hair salons of how to like give people massages on their head, and there'd be a lot of foam. So they were really into the foam. They would send me requests to get in the shower with my clothes on or to get in a tub with my clothes on, and it didn't have to be like, oh, I can see through your shirt kind of thing. It would just be the wet clothes on my skin is what they wanted. Stuff like that.
Just think of the number of people who've jerked it to you.
I know, maybe.
A lot.
I really don't care. I know I'm supposed to be like,
No, I'm not saying
oh,
you're
no,
supposed to
that's
be.
horrible.
You're not supposed to recoil. They're just stating the fact.
If somebody told me that had a foot fetish that said my feet were perfect, I'd be taking pictures, selling those bitches all over the place. I don't care.
Make some
I'm not
money
going to
off
do
of it.
anything. I'm not going to like stick my toe in your butt or anything. But I'll take a picture of my foot.
I don't know, with enough money. Where's the line? The line gets pushed. If there's enough money, your integrity can be bought.
That's me. All about the money.
Sticking that big toe up the butt. How many times did we bring this up today?
Yep. Put my toe in your balloon knot.
That all ties to this weird childhood thing. One of Freud's stages of development. It's like the anal phase where kids hold in their poop. They like holding in their poop for as long as they can. I don't know what that's representative of because I'm not well versed enough on it to speak to, the deepness of it and the
But
intricacies.
you were a child. Did you have a time when you were interested in holding in your poop?
There was a time. It's like, right, I forget what age, but you're already potty trained and, you're aware. And it's like, all right, I got to go. I'm going to hold this.
I feel like mine was more about pee than poop.
Yeah, maybe it's kind of the same thing.
Ellie does that. She's always like rocking in her chair. I'm like, go potty. She's like, I don't need to go. I'm like, yes, you fucking do.
Just holding it.
Yeah, she's holding it.
It's a
She's
stage of development.
So maybe I need to make sure I don't shame her during this portion or she'll end up pooping on people as she grows up.
Yeah, she'll want toes in her butt.
Godspeed, Ellie, as long as you're both consenting.
All right.
All right. Thank you for listening to One Topic. I hope this was not too...
Don't apologize for our shows. Don't. You just, there's no need for that. Just say, thanks for listening. This was our episode.
Like and subscribe.
And share.
Rate us, review us, share us, please. Tell your friends. Hey, I know this great podcast that talks about butts. You're going to love it. And go to hoffandpepper.com and use our code OneTopic15 for 15% off. You'll hear the commercial after that.
Yeah, don't give the double plug.
All right. Sorry,
I'm being very
really
critical.
Criticizing.
Yeah, I know.
What?
I don't know why. I just want the best. I just want you
Shut
to
up.
be your best.
Shut up.
Be the best you that you can be.
Bye.
Cover me in pee.
Hey, Greg.
Hey, Autumn.
Do you like hot sauce?
I do like hot sauce, but I'm getting pretty bored of my regular Texas Pete or Tabasco. I'm looking for a local sauce without any additives or extracts. A company that uses local peppers so it's as fresh as possible, and a company that really cares about the integrity of the sauce and where their ingredients come from.
Definitely.
And hey, while we're at it, I don't want a sauce with too many ingredients. You know, a lot of other sauces out there, they have all kinds of fillers. So I'd love to find a sauce with, I don't know, let's say no more than 5 ingredients. Maybe even, and I mean, it's crazy, but there's gotta be a company out there that hand processes their sauce. You know, bottling and labeling every bottle themselves. I'm probably asking a lot.
Well, you really are, but there is a hot sauce out there who only uses 5 ingredients,
What?
0 fillers, additives, or extracts, and who bottles, labels, and packages everything themselves. It's called Hot Sauce.
What?
They're a small batch hot sauce company out of Chattanooga, Tennessee that's won Best Louisiana-style sauce in the country. How many times? Not once, not twice, 3 times.
3 times!
How does that sound, Greg?
I think that sounds amazing.
You know how you can get your own bottle of hot sauce?
No, tell me please now.
Hoffandpepper.com. And not only am I giving you the gift of the best hot sauce that you'll ever taste, I'm going to give you 15% off if you use the code ONETOPIC15.
Hold on, that's
Yes, get a pen and paper.
1 topic 15.
Good. That's ONETOPIC 15, all squished together at checkout. You'll get 15% off your order and your life will be better.
Thank you.
You're welcome.